Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. I hope all of you had a wonderful lunch today, and we are in for a great session this afternoon. So, yeah, I just had to check if my mic was on. Good afternoon again, once again, everyone, and welcome to the MAICSA Governance Talk, the third in the series. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this important discussion on this particular topic that we're going to discuss today, which is on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Today we gather to delve on the subject that is not only timely but also crucial for building stronger and more vibrant communities, especially in our workplaces and societies as a whole. The principle of equity and inclusion are integral part of companions to diversity. Whereas equity demands that we address systemic barriers that have historically disadvantaged certain groups, right? And ensuring that everyone has equal opportunity to thrive. Whereas inclusion, on the other hand, challenges us to create spaces where all voices are heard, valued, empowered, and also to contribute to their best. So, this discussion aims to not only broaden our perspectives, but also inspire actionable change. We hope to explore strategies, some best practices, some challenges, and success stories that can guide us in our collective journey towards a more equitable and inclusive world. So I encourage each and every one of you to actively participate and engage, ask thought-provoking questions, and share your insights. Only through open dialogue and collaboration will be able to truly understand and grasp the significance of this particular topic that we're going to discuss today. So thank you for being part of this conversation. And without further ado, let me begin by introducing our speaker today, Miss Rani Wemel. All right, she's a speaker for today, and she's a former lecturer. I've known Rani now for the last 7 to 8 years now. Is a renowned innovator and leader in the ed tech industry. She heads up a successful digital knowledge curation business. Her platforms have won numerous awards globally and have also received recognition from the United Nations and OECD too, right? She's also amongst one of the 100 women founders of the AWS Women Founders Program back in 2023. And she's also Asia's inspirational female business leader and recipient of the Entrepreneurial Excellence Award for her work in the field of global mobile learning and edutainment services. She has also served as a mentor with Cherry Blair Foundation and Talent Corp Malaysia. And Rani actually believes in matching passion for profit with deep compassion for the community. I've seen her work and fabulous work that she's been doing. And she's also dedicated to empowering women, youth people, youth people with special needs, and refugees by providing access to quality upskilling opportunities globally. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, after this, I will pass you on to her. And if you have any questions, please post your questions into the Slido, and we'll be happy Rani will be happy to pick up these questions. So, Rani, before I hand you over the floor, maybe you could, just very quick introduction, and then we can take it on.
Thank you, Justin. That was such a honoring introduction that you gave me. Thank you. I feel so overwhelmed now.
Yeah, I had to put some pressure there. Okay.
Okay, so thank you again to MAICSA and to yourself for this opportunity. Thank you to everyone for being here, despite you have work, I'm sure, but taking time to hear me is also makes me very happy, and I hope that you'll find a lot of value in what I'm going to share today. So shall I start by sharing my screen?
Yes, over to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. So today's topic is on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the tagline that I put is actually a journey and not a destination. Once again, thank you to the MAICSA for this opportunity. So I have broken it up into several things. So I'm not just going to dive into DEI immediately. I want to actually look at the value of inclusive leadership, right? And there's six signature traits of inclusive leader. Uh, the six being curiosity, because different ideas and experience will enable growth. Cultural intelligence, because not everyone sees the world through the same cultural frame. So if you are a true inclusive leader, you would be expected to actually embrace everyone's idea, yeah, no matter their background. Collaboration in diverse thinking, because when you think as a team, it's better than when you think in silos, because when you think as a team, whatever comes out is holistic and wholesome. And also commitment, meaning that you remain a die-hard fan on the cause that you have set out to do. Also, you must have the courage. Certain times when you do certain things, you may face uncomfortable situations, but that should never ever let you fray away or abandon the goal that you have set. And finally, it's cognizance. As a leader, we understand that we have our own weaknesses as much as we have strengths, but the weaknesses always makes us weak, in the sense that it makes us lose our self-confidence very easily. So we have to be aware of these weaknesses, so that when they come, you just, yes, I am aware, but I'm still going on. So that should be the mindset, right? So now looking at inclusive leaders, commitment is the most important thing. Now, when we say that they're committed, that means they dedicated towards fostering diversity and equity. And at the same time, when we look at inclusive leaders, I can share with you three good examples. One is Angela Merkel from Germany. Like when the wars happened and there were so many refugees, she was among the first to actually embrace refugees and allow them into her country. So that itself was a very admirable thing to do as a leader, because she set the example for the other countries there, right? So she was one of the first. Second is actually Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand. When the Christchurch mosque shooting happened, she showed empathy. She did not, as a leader, do anything other than what she has, because as a leader, she has been showcasing empathy in everything that she does. And when this incident happened, she actually controlled the calamity around it, and she showed empathy, and she actually handled the incident very well, right? And of course, we have another leader, Justin Trudeau in Canada, who went and when he became the prime minister, he actually had a diverse gender-based cabinet. At the leadership level, when they do that, people below will also look at them and will also practice what their leaders do. So it's important that, it doesn't have to be the prime ministers or the presidents to do this. At your level, you are a leader itself. So when you embrace whoever that is within your community, within your organization, they will also tend to emulate what you're doing, right? Do you agree? Maybe you can put your comments there as well. And if you know of any leaders, you can share so that everyone else will have additional information about committed leaders. Okay, please go ahead and just fill in the chat, yeah? The second thing is courage, and inclusive leaders challenge the status quo and confront difficult conversations. And one such person that I can think of is actually Malala, where she wanted to go to school, but the terrorists actually shot her, and she went through a lot of difficult time recuperating, but she still came back and insisted that women or lady, a girl child, go to school because education is so important for them, right? And she's still fighting the cause. So that's courage. And then you've got cognizance of unconscious bias. Now, every one of us have unconscious bias. It's just part of who we are, the way we were brought up, and it's not a bad thing. It's just our perspectives due to how we were brought up, right? And this thing is actually very prevalent. It's like prevalent as 99% of the time you will do a judgment without thinking, right? So we have to understand this, and before we actually do a judgment, we must be conscious. 99% of the time people just look at somebody and they have a judgment split second. Do you agree? I can't see the chat, but I hope that you are participating and following me on this journey. Yeah. So do you agree that many of us make judgments split second, and sometimes it's not a fair judgment? Okay. At this point, can I please have the first video played?
Ronnie, maybe while waiting for them to play the video, right? Maybe just a quick question to you. Maybe you could share a little bit of your experience, especially when for the inspirational female business leader, what actually brought you to receive that award? Is it something that you can share with us?
Sure. Sure. Actually, you see, I used to do a lot of impact projects, and I help people with special needs. And I have this group in Malaysia that's called Dialogue in the Dark. They
Okay.
used to have a marketing team, so they wanted some call center kind of knowledge, and also I curated contents for them, and they used my platform. So for those who are really 100% blind, then they used the sound. So the videos they couldn't see, but they learned through the voice. And those who could see, or even like very little, like they're partially blind or 90% blind, but still visual. So most of them, they could actually read the books and watch the videos. And this group of people actually now, after the pandemic, they have actually moved the business model. They don't do call center anymore because several businesses also had wrapped up, but they went into food business, and they wanted know everything about how to handle customer service, how to handle food, kitchen hygiene, stuff like that. And this was also something that I found, intriguing, that, they went to this. They were very creative because they partnered a frozen food company, and they supplied those frozen ready-made meals. And all they had to do was just put into the microwave or what packet, and then they worked with Grab and all for the delivery part. So I was like really amazed with what they did, and they really went through all those courses on food hygiene and hospitality. So that was one of the things that added to me getting those recognition. And I also help refugees in Malaysia because they can't go to school. They cannot register in any educational establishment. So they used my platform to actually get certificates like from Harvard and all the other universities. And then they got entrance into Korea, and they're working there now. So I'm also a learning partner for Kiwanis Malaysia to help people with special needs as well. So these were the three things that actually added to what I got.
Fantastic. Congratulations. I hope the video is ready. I managed to meet the founder of Dialogue in the Dark some time ago.
Steven.
Sorry?
Steven.
Stephen, that's right. So I met up with him, and it was amazing, how he actually trained the blind people to actually run a contact center. And basically, they were only using sound and the keyboards to basically to provide the service. But it's good to know that they have actually moved into the food industry. Yeah,
Yep.
great, great. Rina, are we ready? Rina,
I could share if you need.
if you can, then you can share.
Shall I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
It's easy to put people in boxes. There's us, and there's them. The high earners, and those just getting by. Those we trust, and those we try to avoid. There's the new Danes, and those who've always been here. The people from the countryside, and those who've never seen a cow. The religious, and the self-confident. There are those we share something with, and those we don't share anything with.
Velkommen. Jeg kommer til at stille jer nogle spørgsmål i dag. Nogle af dem kan godt være lidt personlige, men jeg håber, I vil svare ærligt på dem. Hvem herinde i rummet var klassens klovn? Hvem er bonusforældre?
And then suddenly, there's us. We who believe in life after death. We who've seen UFOs. And all of us who love to dance. We who've been bullied. And we who've bullied others. And then there's us, the lucky ones who've had sex this past week. We who are broken-hearted. We who are madly in love. We who feel lonely. We who are bisexual. And we who acknowledge the courage of others. We who have found the meaning of life. And we who have saved lives. And then there's all of us who just love Denmark. So maybe there's more that brings us together than we think. TV2 Denmark. All that we share.
Rani, you're on mute.
Sorry. Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the video just now. As much as it was lagging a little bit, but I'm sure we all got the idea of this video. So can I have your response on how did the video make you feel? Anyone? Or what insights did you get from this video? Did you see any biasness in this video? Just anything. What actually you got out of that video just now? Okay, maybe I give you some keywords like initially when they came, they were all in silos. Do you agree? Yeah, there's lots of mixed groups there. Yeah.
Miss
And nobody
Rani,
yeah.
just to let you know that all the participants are muted.
Oh, okay. But on the chat?
Yeah, they can chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, so we just wanted to see whether, the video, you could see that initially we are all like that. We are all very shy. We won't want to look at our person next to us, even in a conference or anything. But the moment, you know, when they start to ask questions and you see that some people have something common with what we are doing. Yeah, that's it. Now you see, I see all of you energized again. Thank you. Yeah, because when you see that there are some people who have similar things, suddenly you feel connected, right? Yeah, at the end, we are all one. We all are supposed to be united because in unity is where we get our strength, right? Okay, so let me now go back to my slides.
Do you want to continue with the presentation slide, Miss?
Yes, I'm sharing the slides now.
All right, okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So now the next one is on curiosity. Curiosity meaning that we must be able as a leader to be open to learning different perspectives and experiencing different things. We cannot be very narrow-minded or, you know, very stuck to our own principles. Because if you do that, then you cannot be an inclusive leader, right? And then we have cultural intelligence, meaning that when you have diverse workforce or you don't have a diverse workforce yet, but whoever that you have in your team, you must be able to give them an opportunity to speak, no matter what race they are, what cultural background they come from. At the end of the day, cultural intelligence is respecting everybody to have a voice and getting everyone to share. And from that, we all will learn, because then only you are actually practicing true diversity. Yeah. Collaboration is where we encourage inclusive leaders to have teamwork and also to diverse on the strength of success. So every one of these points is all interrelated, because to be an inclusive leader, there is so many traits that you have to build. It's not an immediate thing. It's a journey, like I said in the beginning. And it's not about checkbox. Yes, I have curiosity, I have courage, I have commitment. It's not about ticking boxes. It's about practicing and implementing what you have to do. Okay, so that is about inclusive leadership. The next area we have to look at before we actually go into diversity and equity and inclusion is understanding the next generation of talent. Yeah, so right now we have Gen Z coming on slowly already into the workforce. Now, the way that they interact with everyone else who's already in the working arena is different. Like there was a time it was face-to-face, and then it went into like emails and texting. But now you see Gen Z actually wants face-to-face conversation. 72% of them said that they prefer face-to-face conversation. And then you have people who prefer their own workspace. At one time, we all had our own workspace, and then it became open workspace. But you see that the trend is now going back to having their own workspace, right? Again, the next characteristics is they expect to work harder than previous generations. 77% of those surveyed claim that they are working harder than the previous generation. Okay. And then you have people who said that they want multiple roles in the organization. 75% said they would prefer to have multiple roles in the organization. Why? Because they don't want one single role. Because with multiple roles, they'll be able to build multiple talent or multiple skill sets that will actually be very useful to the organization. It'll be also building them up holistically. Yeah. And then there's 36% who said that equality is the most important cause that they want their employer to support. yeah, so that there's no such thing as favoritism or anything. They want equality. And also in terms of racial equality, which they feel is an important issue today. And for your information, this was a US-based survey, but it can be taken because generally most of these Gen Zs, they are of the same characteristics, yeah. And of course, the final one here said that they would prefer to work for mid-size or large companies. So this is how Gen Z's perception is. And as a leader in your own organization, you must also be able to fit in these new Gen Zs when they come in. Do you agree? Because if you understand them, then there will be synergy. You will be able to work together because your biasness would have dropped. Because right now everybody says, oh, the millennials, oh, the Gen Zs, you know, like they're a huge problem. But if you understand them and you work in tandem with their strength, then who is the winner? Both parties. Do you agree? So as you can see, this was in 1995, where you had a lot of the traditionalists there, and the boomers, baby boomers were about 49%, and then the Gen X was there. Then right now in 2015, it almost became same, right? And here is where you can see in 2025, the traditionalists are no more in the spectrum. Boomers, there'll be only like 18% of them still active. And you've got Gen Xs and the millennials and the Gen Zs. So between them, there's 61% of the workforce is going to be the millennials and the Gen Zs in 2025. So all the more you must be ready and open in your mindset to embrace a new kind of work, right? And also if you're in HR or in senior management, you also need to come up with new kinds of packages that will actually keep your employees happy in your organization, right? So you have like global learning experiences, you give them health benefits beyond like financial wellness, you help with student loan repayment. You must look at what are the issues in hand and work with partners to offer them a good pay benefit, employee benefit, yeah, because at the end of the day, most of the baby boomers are going to continue to live to maybe 100, 90 or 100, because as technology evolve, as technology evolve, right, people are getting to live longer and longer. Do you agree? So age is no more a number, it's a mindset. Okay, so within the next 10 years, now we already are working with AI, but eventually every one of us will also see AI as part of a member of our organization that we'll be working along with, right? I'm sure all of you also use ChatGPT, right? That's already the start of you working alongside AI, right?
Rani, sorry, are you still sharing a slide?
Yes.
Yeah,
Can you
we
see?
don't see the
Don't
slide.
see. Oh,
Yeah.
when was the last slide you saw?
The one with the diversity, the one with all the age group.
Oh, the age group. Okay.
Yeah.
1 minute. I don't know what happened. Hold on, please. Share. Oh, the sharing disappeared. Can you see now? Okay.
Yeah.
So you saw this slide?
Yes.
Okay. So this was the slide I was talking about, the numbers and how everyone is actually living longer now. And because they're living longer, employee pay and employee benefits have to be catered to those people who are seniors or more as well, because they will be part of the organization. And the youngsters as well, because you have a different kind of group who are coming in. So you have to look at their global learning experiences and things like that as well. And right now, we are already working with AI. Like I mentioned, many of us already use ChatGPT, but also besides that, the AI has been used in many, many different forms and ways. And this is just the start of us working with technology by our side. Yeah. So there is this knowledge and there's this comfort level. And actually, at the end of the day, the proficiency of it determines our style and needs. Yeah, because knowing technology and not believing in using it is not digital proficiency, right? So this is the table where we have the comfort level here and the knowledge level here. Okay, so if you're in this box, it means that you're not good at it, but you want to do it, which means that there's some effort or initiative you will put because you want to do it. And then there's this box here, which is not good at it and don't want to do it, which is a very dangerous box, because if they don't do it, they will be left behind. And it's really very detrimental, right? And then you have this box here, which is good at it, but don't want to do it. Again, it's terrible because you're wasting your talent. Do you agree? And of course, this is the most ideal box. You're good at it and you want to do it, which means that you will not only grow, but you will also impact your community around you, and you will actually bring growth to other people as well. So how many of you believe that you are already in this box and you will continue to be good at it and you want to continue to do it? Yeah, please share in the chat, yeah? And then this picture here actually shows you the different 5 generations. Yeah, so these are the baby boomers, and then you've got the Gen X and the Gen Y, and then you've got the Gen Z, and then these are the next generation where we all the 4 generations will work with the AI as well. Okay, so are we heading into a jobless future? Is this what's going to happen? I don't think so. As much as, a lot of people, especially when ChatGPT came, they had all these fears that, ChatGPT is going to take away my job and all that. But actually, it's not ChatGPT taking away your job. It's the person who learned ChatGPT is going to take away your job. So at the end of the day, you must always be one step ahead, meaning that you are always in command, right? So at the end of the day, all these robots, all this AI and everything was human-made. So when it's human-made, you just have to move your job scope to another level to manage whatever that is the job description changes. That's it. There's no such thing as you're going into a jobless future, yeah? So at this time, can we play the video, Meet Grace? I'll stop sharing.
So just to add on to your point just now about whether technology is going to take away your job, all right? I think that is a mindset that everyone need to change, all right? It's a task that is going to be removed away from you, all right? The redundant stuff that you're doing over and over again, I think we need to eliminate that so that you become more efficient, right? So I think there's also a level of misconception. Hey, look, if technology comes into play, I'm going to lose my job. To me, I think it's more of a task which is going to be removed from you so that you can actually enhance and move up the value chain as well. Yeah.
Yeah, well said. Exactly, the task, because the task is the one that's evolving.
Exactly. Right. So that is what we need to keep changing. Right. Okay. So if any one of you have got any questions, please post your questions into the Slido. All right. So we can actually attend to those questions later on.
The Hong Kong team behind celebrity humanoid robot Sophia is launching a new prototype, Grace, targeted at the healthcare market and designed to interact with the elderly and those isolated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Dressed in a blue nurse's uniform, Grace has Asian features, collar-length brown hair, and a thermal camera in her chest to take your temperature and measure your responsiveness. She uses artificial intelligence to diagnose a patient and can speak English, Mandarin, and Cantonese.
Hello everybody, I am Sophia. Let me introduce you to my sister Grace. Come over here. Hi Grace.
Thank you, Sophia. Hello, everybody. I am Grace. I am built by Hanson Robotics for Awakening Health. I can do all kinds of things for elderly people. I can visit with people and brighten their day with social stimulation, entertain and help guide exercise, but also can do talk therapy, take bio readings and help healthcare providers assess their health and deliver treatments.
Hi my friend, nice to see you. Okay, great, so while we talk, I will take your temperature reading and pulse with this little thermal camera on my chest. See? You are 36.6 degrees Celsius by the way. No risk of COVID. Also I note that you are responsive and aware, which is good, and then I share that important data back to the doctors and nurses at the institution.
Grace's resemblance to a healthcare professional and capacity for social interaction is aimed at relieving the burden of frontline hospital staff overwhelmed during the pandemic, said founder David Hansen.
So we designed Grace to look professional in a healthcare setting. So that would mean so that she would resemble the sort of human-like appearance of healthcare staff. And so then this would facilitate more natural interactions. A human-like appearance facilitates trust and facilitates natural engagement because we're wired for human face-to-face interactions. That's just the way human beings are. And so giving her a face that would be familiar to people, comforting to people, and also language abilities that are comforting. So we now have Mandarin and Cantonese capabilities for the Grace and Sophia robot platforms. Hey Grace, why don't you look at my face, thank you, and I'm gonna show you a smile, and let's see what your smile looks like. Okay, yeah, look, or sad. Oh yes, reacting a little sad if I feel pain. And then maybe like imagine a big loud noise happens, bam! So, with the Grace robot, we are simulating over 48 major muscles in the face. So we have 36 motors in the face. They're reversible, which means that each motor can simulate 2 muscles, because human muscles require 2 for the actions. Like my eyebrow is going up and down, kind of. So that's actually 2 motor groups, but in her it's just 1 motor. So Grace is designed for Asian markets, also markets all around the world, but we did make her look a bit more Asian than Sophia, but her face is actually a bit more cartoon-like, a bit more like anime, and the anime design references are often a fusion of Asian styles and Western styles.
Awakening Health intends to mass-produce a beta version of Grace by August, said David Lake, chief executive of the joint venture between Hanson Robotics and Singularity Studio, with plans to fully deploy her next year in locations including Hong Kong, mainland China, Japan, and Korea.
We're finishing the alpha prototype, and you can see now that it's finished at the moment. So we're now very excited because we're going on to the commercialization stage, the next step, which is creating the beta. And the beta will be done in a couple of months, and we'll be going into the assembly line probably in July or August, where we'll start to be able to mass produce at a small scale the beta, test it, and put it together. So by 2022, we should be ready for full deployment.
The cost of making the robots, now akin to luxury car pricing, will decrease once the company is manufacturing tens or hundreds of thousands of units, Hansen added.
So of course, the COVID definitely accelerated the deployment of humanoid robots in different settings. So I think it's also such a socially isolated individuals during COVID, with a lot of negative thoughts and the mental states. If they can get help through deployment of these social robots in their intimate settings, I think certainly it has a positive impact in the society. So yes, I think we have been fundamentally and forever changed as a world due to COVID.
Yeah, that was just basically to show that, they have these robots who are replacing nurses, not exactly replacing nurses, but complementing what nurses are doing so that they are not overworked. So it's similar like this. We will have robots or AI working with us, and we must be able to fit in as well. Yeah, so we have to have an open mind. Let me share my screen. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, great. Do y'all like the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share the two links with y'all. So if you like to send it out to the audience also, it's okay, because the video was lagging just now. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, basically automation is moving into workplace and jobs and even homes. Yeah. But they're not replacing anyone, but basically they're actually helping to augment and to enhance and make things better, more comforting for elderly in certain senses, more helpful at organizations. So at the end of the day, there is actually redefining roles and tasks, like Justin had shared earlier. Yeah. So why should you prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion for the organization? Because it's proven that when you do this, it will increase productivity and increase revenue. Why? Because when an organization is happy, within themselves itself, there's much friendship and trust that that itself will bring growth and productivity and innovation. And because of that, you will have new ideas, new inventions, new product catalogs, or you will have new audiences, because now with diverse people in your organization, you'll be able to have different set of target audience, right? Maybe last time you're just catering to just one particular segment, but now because you have diverse people and maybe they can speak different languages, you can go global, or you can cater to different sectors in an globe, right? And in this way, you not only will be increasing your revenue, but also productivity, right? More sales means you need higher productivity, right? So that's the thing that is very, very important when it comes to this. So why diversity, equity, and inclusion? At the end of the day, why I started with the leadership and the generations that we are going to work with is so that we are all ready. Because at the end of the day, equity is actually recognizing the advantages and barriers and ensures that we all have the same opportunity. But before that, you must have inclusion and you must have diversity. But you cannot just bring all kinds of people into the organization and then you say you are a diverse organization. You must make sure that they are respected, they contribute, then only you can say that you have a diverse workforce. Just by bringing people and putting them there just as showcase and not doing anything is not diversity. Do you agree? And at the same time, you have to include them in everything that you're doing as well. That is how, at the end of the day, you get equity. All right? So when we talk about diversity, I say, should we stop talking? Yeah, because at the end of the day, everyone says that they have diverse, they're practicing diversity and all. But there's so many proven cases of whatever that they're doing is not working as well. Especially in the US, they are not getting the ROI if you compare it to the amount of money they are spending and talking about all these DEI initiatives. Because at the end of the day, it is us, the people in the organization, that must accept it, and we must move on. Like I told you earlier, 99.999% of us have unconscious prejudices. And I saw that many of you also shared the same in the chat group. And thank you for sharing. Now, I have these two images here. This first image actually shows you the caveman, right? Why I showed you the caveman? Because those days when people had to go look for food and all, they went hunting, right? And when they see a tiger, there's this part of the brain that actually tells them to withdraw, right? That part of the brain is the oldest part of the brain in all of us. It is called the reptilian brain. It is the one that protects us from anything and everything. So sometimes even when you want to try, the inner voice that you have, that's your reptilian brain. It tells you, no need, and you will listen faithfully, right? But times have changed. These kind of tigers and lions and all have come in different forms to you now, right? So like when you look at the past and the future, you can listen to your reptilian brain, but you cannot accept. You can just say thank you for sharing, and then you must use your own logic and see whether you can move forward in things like that. But again, diversity is like when you bring someone into an organization, right? So if these are these people and this guy suddenly appeared, don't you think that they will have culture shock? And at the same time, they'll be wondering, who is this person? Where did this person come from? What is he doing here? Is he going to steal my food? Don't you think that all these things the reptilian brain would be putting into their heads? They will be more fearful than actually looking at wanting to collaborate. The same thing happens in an organization. When you bring new people, the old people, they feel threatened. They feel, why this new person in this organization? Do you agree? So at the end of the day, we cannot accept whatever the reptilian brain says, because it also adds to our unbiased, biased brain, right? So these are the things that you must move forward. You must, now that you're aware, you must consciously tell yourself that sometimes whatever the reptilian brain tells us, it's fine, it's trying to protect us, but we know the current situation and we have to take steps to make conscious decision. Do you agree? Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay, next is equity. So this is equity, this is equality. I'm sure you have seen these kinds of images many times, right? So at the end of the day, they say that just giving everybody the same is not fair. It is equality, but it's not fair, because they won't be able to see the same as the rest, although you have been fair to everybody, right? Equity is about fairness, but giving them the resources that they need so that they also view the same and be able to share the same. Do you follow? So how do we react to injustice? So there was this experiment between two monkeys where this scientist actually gave them a task, and when they completed, she gave them a cucumber. Okay, then she decided to change the test. So when this monkey did the test correctly, she gave the monkey a raisin. And then when she asked this monkey to do, and it did it correctly, she gave it a cucumber again. And you know, monkeys love raisins very much, right? Grape, more. So she did it a few times, and at the third time, this monkey threw the cucumber out of the cage. Do you see the reaction? So people won't just keep it in them all the time. Suddenly they will react. So we have to know how to handle people, because when you don't handle them correctly, it is proven that all the stress causes inflammation. Inflammation causes chronic inflammation. Then you have all these things about cancer and heart disease and asthma and low level of expense. They are all linked. Stress is the main key element that drives all of this. So at the end of the day, equity is linked to health. Do you understand? So we have to manage our stress so that we remain healthy. But of course, by us saying that we need to balance our stress, we also must make sure that our environment, everyone also enjoys a stress-free environment. That is how you can manage your own stress as well. It is all linked. Do you follow? So how do we achieve this daunting goal about DEI? Everyone talks about it. Everyone spends billions of dollars globally on this. And yet, yeah, I'm saying yet because there's no one who has actually achieved it. So that's the reason why I put earlier that DEI is a journey. And it has to be a continued journey because everything is evolving and everything we do have to evolve, including our mindset, right? So this is a good example of how to handle a goal. In 1962, President Kennedy had a bold goal. He said, we all must choose to go to the moon in this decade. He told the American people. He didn't say, we care about going to the moon. We are going to form a committee. That means in 2023, they still may not have gone to the moon. All right. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is when he said we choose to go to the moon, he instilled in every American the dream that they are all going to go to the moon in this decade. And they actually went within 7 years. Right? So at the end of the day, what you have to do is you have to verbalize the goal. You must make sure it's measurable and it's time bound. If it's not time bound, you will not achieve it. And if not measurable, you won't know how much you have improved as well. Right? So no need to form committee and everything. You just need commitment from everybody, and everybody must have the responsibility to carry out or work in tandem to get the goal going. Do you agree? So finally, on inclusion, the practical strategies that we can do almost immediately, because at the end of the day, inclusion is the most important to drive equity and diversity, right? So when we work together and we have everyone participate equally and contribute, that is one of the steps that will help you in this journey. Second is when you use kind words and fair choices, right? Not one get grape and one get cucumber, no, right? And also you must have a culture of respect and fairness. All these words like please, thank you, excuse me, it must come back into being because many people have just not used it at all, and some actually feel that you are obligated to do it for them, not realizing that they should thank you for what you are doing for them, right? So all these things have to be done. These are all the groundwork, okay? And of course, celebrating differences, embracing diversity, appreciating the unique background and cultures of different people, because every time you celebrate differences, you actually learn and you become more closer to the other person as well. And this is what builds trust and allows you to work together and to collaborate. Then you have about fostering a learning environment, meaning that when you know something, you can share your knowledge. If you don't know, you ask questions, hoping that the other person in the organization equally is, wants to learn and share knowledge, because this is the future. You have to upskill and reskill and multi-skill, and learning is lifelong now if you want to remain and you want to stay ahead. All right. So that's all from me today. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to Justin and his team for giving me this opportunity. Over to you, Justin.
Thanks, Rani. I think it was, to me, this last 1 hour has been so educational with the amount of information that you have actually shared.
Thank you.
Many of the things are very basic, that each one of us know about it. But when you actually when you share in particular sessions like this, this actually comes to reality. Hey, this is a very simple thing, like the gestures you mentioned just now. Hey, I'm sorry, my apologies. Take care, thank you. These are all the simple things that we actually forget because we are so stressed up with work, right? And all the tension that we have to go through. We
Miss
have some
Rani,
questions already up on the Slido, so I will share those questions. And for those of you
excuse me,
who have not,
sir.
yeah,
Just for a minute. Miss Rani can stop sharing because it's repeating seeing your face.
oh, okay,
Sorry.
All right, no worries. Okay, it's
okay, all right, thanks. So there are some questions, so please continue sending in your questions. We will address it as we go along. So one of the questions, Rani, is that where does DEI originate from? Okay, and how do we balance between merit-based principles and DEI?
Okay. Actually, DEI came during the Sustainable Development Goals, when the United Nations started the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, with a 15-year goal to achieve all these things, but it did not take off until few incidences happened in the US. One was the murder of this jogger who went jogging and he got killed. Then there was George Floyd who got killed, and another incident as well. And then suddenly they felt that the black people there were actually victimized and everything, and organizations, because of the global outcry, organizations suddenly started to support employing black people and donating to to their associations and stuff like that, to upskill them, to bring them. So it was the turn of these events that actually made DI suddenly blow up, because of the global outcry of what was happening in the US, especially after George Floyd, when they started Black Lives. Those incidences, suddenly all the corporates became DEI, but that is also, as much as they did that, they didn't do it sincerely. They just wanted press. Oh, we are supporting. It was all just lip service. Yeah, and now it is backfiring them because of these legislations that came up in the US and all, and these black people not getting their justice in the organization because they're just put there as diversity numbers. Like I said, they just checklist. Yes, I have black, but they didn't do the things, the inclusion and the equity part. So it's backfiring there. But in certain countries, it's acting correctly. They are doing correctly, and it's good.
Yeah. Actually, the Floyd's matter has actually really created a lot of things. So much so, my daughter also wrote her own song on Black Lives Matter. So it sort of really emotionally impacted her, and she came out with a song as well. Right. So we have another question here from Lee. Lee is asking, will company secretary's job become redundant? What if AI can advise on compliance to law? Maybe AI can write minutes of meeting. What is your thoughts on that?
Okay, Lee. Definitely, they are already doing that, but you offer the service so that you ask the right questions and get the right kind of reporting out, right kind of minutes out, so that you will be of, in demand by all the companies. Right now, they need to get their staff to do it, but if you do it professionally and you print it nicely, this is how you will upskill. You'll be one step ahead of AI. So no one's going to take away your job. You have to better go find a great idea to how to ask the AI all these right questions.
Rani, I think a bit otherwise. Okay, people can take away your job if you do not innovate. If you
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
stop, if you're just satisfied with the job that you have and you're doing with the same old work that you continue to do, people will catch up because technology is actually accelerating businesses. If you know what happened during the pandemic, right? Everybody thought they couldn't go work from home. But many companies, when we did a case study, many companies actually did it over in a period of 2 weeks. When prior to COVID, they're saying, I did it over, I need 6 months, 7 months. All
Yeah.
right. So it's about your mindset. You need to actually change. So if you do not think about change, you do not think about innovation, you may remain stagnant. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. That's what I was sharing with Mr. Lee, that he has to look at how to get the reports out in a better way by asking
Yeah.
the right questions so
Right.
that his reports will outstand anyone else's, and companies
Exactly.
would rather employ him to do it rather than get the staffs to do it.
Yes, agree. Totally
Yeah.
agree. Right. So don't worry about AI. It's not a threat, but you need to innovate. You need to change with the times. Right. Lee has also got another question. Okay, since this is a MAICSA talk, I asked some statutory requirement. Are we allowed to keep register books digitally without keeping physical register book? Maybe I should answer this. The answer is yes, but please refer for more details to Section 49 of the Companies Act. You get more details over there. A lot of things in terms of digitalization, we're already working with the government. So as we go along, we will provide more updates. Okay. All right. There's another question. Okay, there's a suggestion to watch the documentary titled "The Greatest Lie Ever Sold" on BLM. Okay, all right. BLM movement. Okay, that's just for info. Okay. All right. Keep the
Thank
questions
you.
coming. Maybe we'll take a couple more questions, but I would like to ask you this question. Is there any case studies that you can actually share where companies' commitment to diversity and inclusion positively affected the bottom line of the overall success?
Yeah. Are you asking me the question
Yeah,
or?
I'm asking you the question. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like Indra Nui in Pepsi,
Mm-hmm.
she actually practiced diversity, inclusion, and a lot of things. And because of what she did, it impacted the company on the overview of how people look at Pepsi and also Pepsi's growth and revenue. But she enabled and empowered a lot of people, from youths, from minorities to women, and she brought them all up as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. So there's definitely some case studies that we can actually refer to in terms of. So how can okay, another question here. How can organizations ensure that their diversity and inclusion agenda are not just performative, but also lead to tangible changes in company culture and policies? How does it affect the culture and policies?
Okay, so the culture and policies are actually written to influence the behavior of the organization, and if that policies are not applicable now, it has to be rewritten. Otherwise, it will be the same kind of behavior and mindset from the employees, and because they are following policies.
Mm,
They cannot break it, otherwise they'll be reprimanded.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's see if we have any more questions from the floor. Okay, now I will ask you questions. And what metrics or indicators can organizations use to measure the success of their diversity and inclusion initiatives over time? You may have shared this, I think, over your slide, but you
I
can share
didn't
this.
go particularly into tools, but there
Okay.
are tools out there to measure. But
Mhm.
also, when I was reading a report, it said that besides having these tools and all and doing it internally to show the numbers, it's always good to have an external audit at the same time, so that when you are doing this, you have a third party's opinion on whether you have actually embrace change, embrace inclusivity and diversity and equity, because otherwise these tools can be manipulated.
Right, right. And is there any way that that can be audited or verified?
This was actually a paper that I read where they said that it is recommended to have external audits when people are using tools, because everyone uses tools, everyone submits reports, even our stock exchange, gets all these uh, listed companies to submit reports on what they are doing for the SDGs and the ESGs and the DEI. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it is just numbers that they fill up and they churn out from these tools. But you must have a third party audit who actually verifies this. In that way, you know that it's happening.
Okay. Let me see if you have any more. Okay. All right. So everyone is quiet. Looks like they have learned a lot from you today.
I hope
I'm also
so.
checking on the chat if there's any questions. No, there isn't. But it has definitely been a wonderful session today. Me personally, for sure, I've learned quite a bit from you. But just before
Thank you.
we go, probably another couple of questions in terms of the kind of steps the individuals should take, regardless of their role or position, to contribute to more inclusive and equitable environment, both within organization and broader society. What are the steps? You probably can
But
advise the attendees here.
sure. To me, what I feel is that you must control your biasness. Don't quickly jump to decisions and don't quickly judge people. Always take a deep breath and try to actually make sense of the situation and
Right.
and practice inclusiveness. Give the other person an opportunity before making a judgment.
Yeah. Because one day you will be judged, right?
So
So
true.
yeah, and when
That's
we
a
are
nice
young,
ending.
it can become disastrous, the judgment, So so I keep telling my kids, sometimes when they get upset about something and they do judge, I said, look, we need to be careful about what we say. All right. In Bahasa, they had lidah tidak bertulang, which means your tongue without
A
bones,
bone.
right? And you can just say anything you want. Yeah. So we need to be careful about that. So thank you, Rani. It has been
Thank you.
a wonderful session. Thank you so much. A lot of information that you have shared with us. And for those attendees, we will be continuously having this governance talk. And to bring good news, I'm not sure how many of you here are from Penang. We are organizing a governance talk in Penang. We have not been to Penang for some time. So the team is going to flock over to Penang and bring you some information in terms of, on the top of ESG. Plus, also, we are going to share with you in terms of the recent book that we released, the publication on the governance guide, corporate governance guide. So please do check your membership site and get the details to register for the Penang talk. Yeah, that's happening on the 7th of September. Not long. We have been getting the limited space. We're already there, almost full. So please do register for it. And there's also CPD points awarded for that as well. So please do catch up with the information that you have shared. Rina, maybe you could put up this slide on our annual dinner. For those of you who have not registered for our annual dinner, it's happening next week. We're almost full house as well. We have a lot of exciting entertainment, awards. All right. For those of you who did not participate in the awards, come and check out the awards that we have initiated. All right. Please do join us. So it's happening next week. That is August 24th. Please do register. We are almost full as well, but we won't let you down. Please do join us. That'd be good to see you there. All right. And also, I will also suggest the okay, is the slides there? Sorry, I think I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right. So October 4th and 5th is our annual conference. Please do register. Exciting topics happening over there. You can just pause it, please. No need the music. Yeah. So on the 24th of August is happening. So please do join us. October 4th and 5th is our annual conference. Please do join us. A lot of it's a 2 days program, and there's a lot of exciting activities also happening. Okay. All right. So without further ado, thank you again, Rani. It was a wonderful session.
Justin and all.
Thank you. Thank you. And to all of you who are here present today, thank you for joining us. We had a good number today, over 200 people attending your session today. So,
wow.
And they stayed throughout. And they stayed throughout. I think they need a big round of applause for being here. All right. Okay. So thank you, everyone. And have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.